thank y'all for coming out today. For those that don't know me, I'm Terry Truitt. I'm the Hog Show captain here in the Conroe District. We're welcome to have Commander Steen with us today. He is the regional commander for Region 2 for the department. I want to say thank you to the Montgomery Fire Department for allowing us to use this facility today. Today we're here to honor the actions of civilians, citizens that helped out on the Dobbin house explosion back last year. And so with that, I'll read a little bit about what happened that day. On June 11, 2013, at approximately 8:14 a.m., a residence exploded at 185 FM 1486 in Dobbin, Texas. The residence was occupied by Jennifer Mock, Lena Knight, and Wyatt Mock. The cause of the explosion was believed to be due to a buildup of flammable gases in and around the home. Paul Whitley was 200 yards away from the house when the incident happened. Mr. Whitley responded to what he thought was an unoccupied house. When he arrived, Mr. Whitley located Jennifer Mock trying to crawl out of the fiery debris and pulled her to the front yard. About this time, Trooper John Bradford arrived on scene. Trooper Bradford was en route to the Conroe District office when he heard and felt the explosion as it shook the vehicle he was driving. He observed a large cloud of smoke, fire, and debris in the air and hastily proceeded to the area of the explosion. When he arrived at the scene, he noticed that the house had been blown completely apart, with a few walls still standing. There were several small fires still burning in the area where the house had been. We later learned the explosion was caused by broken gas lines running throughout the house. Trooper Bradford noticed several people standing around an elderly and badly burned female, which happened to be Jennifer Mock. Ms. Mock was conscious, and Trooper Bradford asked her if anyone else was still inside the residence. Ms. Mock replied that her sister, Lena Knight, and the infant baby boy, Wyatt Mock, were still inside the residence. Bart Hogan, a bystander that had also responded to the incident, located Wyatt amongst the debris field. He removed Wyatt from the debris and handed him to an unknown bystander, while he, Trooper Bradford, Paul Whitley, and Jeremy Giles, another bystander that responded, searched for Lena Knight. While all this had been taking place, Rocky Butler, another bystander that had responded to the incident, started administering care to Wyatt, who was badly burned and cut. With instruction from 911 operators, Mr. Butler provided the baby with what aid he could. While Mr. Butler was providing aid to Wyatt, Trooper Bradford, Mr. Giles, Mr. Hogan, and Mr. Whitley located Lena Knight. Ms. Knight was in the rear area of the residence. Ms. Knight was underneath a partial wall that was on fire and smoldering. They removed the partial wall from Ms. Knight and noticed that she had sustained very bad burns over her entire body. As they attempted to move Ms. Knight, they noticed a boiling sound in close proximity. The noise was coming from a butane tank about 10 yards from where they were standing, and the tank had burning debris around it. It became imperative to remove Ms. Knight from that location immediately in the event that the butane tank exploded. Ms. Knight was carried to a driveway across the street. All the victims were transported by helicopter to the hospital. Ms. Knight and Ms. Mock eventually succumbed to their injuries and passed away. Wyatt has been released from the hospital and is recovering. It is with great pride that the Texas Department of Public Safety, on behalf of Director Stephen Crawl, present these awards to Paul Whitley, Bart Hogan, and Jeremy Giles. Thank you for your heroism and service to the citizens of Texas.
I have a couple of things that I'd like to say. Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. As you sit and look around the room, you'll see some firemen, you'll see some troopers whose job every day is to go out and risk their lives and try to protect the citizens of the state of Texas. I am particularly honored today because we had some citizens, we had some Texans who saw a tragedy, and even though it was not their duty to do it, they took it upon themselves to risk their lives, to be selfless and giving, and to go to the aid of another human being. That is some of the most heroic things that happen. Again, we in DPS, we as firemen, we as any type of public servant, we're expected to go in and do that. But when we have a citizen do it, they are so deserving of this recognition. They're so deserving of our praise, and they are true heroes. And so when we hand out this award and recognize these actions of a citizen, it gives us great pleasure, and it gives us great honor to be in the company of those, again, who give so much to themselves. So with that,
Trooper Bradford, would you mind coming up here with us? Unfortunately, Mr. Whitley and Mr. Giles are not able to be with us today. They have family members here to accept their awards. So with that said, Mr. Hogan, if you would come forward.
And Mr. Hogan, on behalf of the Texas Department of Public Safety Director Steve McCraw, and of course Region 2, we honor you today and present you with our Directors Award. Thank you for your service to the state, citizens of the state of Texas. Do you have anyone, sir, that you'd like to recognize and come up with this program? My wife. And again, ma'am, on behalf of the Texas Department of Public Safety, Director Steve McCraw and Region 2, present you with this award and give thanks for what your husband has done.
Mr. Paul Whitley was not able to be with us again today.
Texas Department of Public Safety Director Steve McCraw and Region 2, we'd like to present you this award on behalf of your father. Thank you very much for your service to the citizens of the state of Texas.
Everybody for coming out to honor these heroes. Again, thank you for the Montgomery Fire Department for letting us use our facilities and for the work that y'all did that day. I know that y'all are some of our unspoken heroes from time to time get overlooked. But thank y'all for everything that y'all did as well. So, thank you.
Hopefully we don't ever have to talk again. I have your number just in case Jeremy ever wants to call.
First of all, what is your name?
Trooper John W. Bradford.
Bradford?
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about what you remember about that day out there. You're what, coming to Conroe for class?
Yes, sir. I was in Ward to the Conroe District office for an award ceremony. I was coming up FM 1486, I believe it was, northbound. I saw a large explosion, debris and fire in the air, approximately 200-300 feet in the air. I responded to the scene, observed the house that had been exploded. Once I arrived on scene, I saw a lady in the front yard who was burned very badly. Once I made contact with her, I asked her what had happened and if there was anybody else inside. She advised me that there was someone else inside, her her sister and her nephew, who was just 6 months old, I believe, at the time. I went into the house with a couple of civilians. Once we got into the house, we saw large fires inside the house. The house was mostly exploded. A few walls were still standing. We located another female, extracted her out of the house because of the propane tank in the rear, fearing of the second explosion. Once we extracted her, we set up a evac site for the helicopters. Once we did, Montgomery County Fire Department and ambulances made it on scene. Once we did that, loaded into the ambulance, we extracted them.
Where's your normal duty station?
Waller County.
Waller County? Just happened to be passing through at the right time, huh?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. How long you been with DPS?
3 years and a couple months, sir.
You from up this area?
No, sir. I'm from Katy.
Okay. All right.